Hello, everyone. Good morning and welcome to today's roundtable. Today, I'm honored to introduce our distinguished panelist who will bring her experience and insight to this discussion. Our roundtable of today is entitled Coaching Early Career Scientists in Scientific Communication. So today we have Marion Miesenbeck. Marion is a senior career and employability coach who supports PhD students and early career researchers at institutions such as Erasmus University Rotterdam, and Leiden University. She specializes in helping scientists navigate communication challenges and foster team well-being in high-pressure environments. Uh, we also have Raquel Cosío Bayudar. She's a senior researcher at the National Center for Disciplinary Research in Animal Health and Safety, INIFAP, in Mexico. Her research focuses on acaricide resistance and alternative control strategies for cattle ticks. She emphasizes the importance of clear scientific communication when collaborating with diverse stakeholders to address health and economic challenges. And also, we have the least but not less important, Carla Rosanet Zul Rosado. She's a senior researcher at the Dr. Kideyu Noguchi Regional Center or Research Center, of the Autonomous University of Yucatan in Mexico as well. She studies vector-borne diseases, especially rickettsiosis, and works with Maya communities to promote public health through research, teaching, and outreach. Dr. Carla Azul Rosado advances science with a strong commitment to public health and social equity. Welcome, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Morning, thank you.
So, well, to start this roundtable, we have some questions that we prepared, and one of the things we would like to discuss is how do you think that researchers can communicate more efficiently and more confidently? I mean, do you have any tips, for example, for researchers that English is their second language? I think that for all here all of us, English is our second language, and this sometimes difficult or represents a barrier most of the time.
Yes. Is our order to
Yes. You are free to.
All right, first. I think that practice is the key, especially when it comes to pronunciation. I will commit a lot of mistakes, but it's something I recommend identifying the words that are difficult to pronounce and practice them out loud. Maybe even record it yourself to help in pronunciation. Also, using technology can really help. For example, I often use like ChatGPT to improve how I write and organize my ideas. This has helped me a lot to drafting emails, abstract, or talks in English. It's not just about translation. It's about learning how to structure communication the way it's expected in another language and cultures. In Spanish, for instance, we use a lot of longer, more elaborate sentence, while in English, it requires more direct and concise messages. My writing sometimes, and then using iTools to improve it, we began to understand how is the structure patterns and improve it over time. It becomes a kind of ongoing coaching process. Preparations builds confidence. Organize your main points in advance. Keep your message simple and don't be afraid to ask for feedback. Little by little, it becomes more natural. It's what I do with, especially English, another my second language.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, maybe I can elaborate a little bit on that. Or Carla, do you want to go first?
Thank you. Thank you. Morning, everybody. And my experience, Confiance and efficiency in communication come with practice and self-compassion. For non-native English speakers like myself, my big tip is don't let the fear of making mistake stop you. Remember your voice matters, no matter the language. For me, it's a little difficult sometimes because I am distracted. I have the dyslexia. Then it's more difficult reconocer algunas palabras.
Yes, you remember some words. And for example, well, you mentioned that you work with Maya communities. So does that imply that you also need to speak Maya?
In my community, yes. My grandmother is Mayan people. Then I can speak a simple structure for Maya. Example, today is Timbin Otoch. Timbin Otoch, in translating in English, is I'm going to my home.
So,
Example.
okay. Yeah, so, well, for a brief introduction for those that don't know, because we are in international community, Maya is our native.
Mayan is the other language for someone community, some municipalities. The people commune translate in Spanish. A little people speaking Spanish in minor English.
Yeah. Oh. So it's a challenge.
Yeah.
And Mariam?
Yeah, we are talking now about the practical side of communication, the language itself. And what I wanted to add to what is already being said is that you have verbal communication, but of course you also have non-verbal communication, and that is just as important, or maybe even more important. How you express things, your posture, smiling. When I give training in the Netherlands, and maybe Saeed can remember, if people have to present something or share something in the group, then often you are so focused on what you're saying, especially when it's in a foreign language, then you see some expression that is not expressing really what they feel normally, because they share something positive or something exciting. So we always give the tip as career coaches, try to feel at ease and express what you're feeling too, because a smile says more than 1,000 words. Also in your career planning and in your development, because it engages the other side towards you. It pulls, it has kind of big pull factor. So that is what I want to emphasize, that nonverbal communication is also important. And what I experience when I have a lot of internationals in trainings or in coaching is that sometimes it's not that they don't know the words, but they talk either very quickly. I know that Spanish people are more or less inclined to speak very fast. So it's also very important to check the non-verbal communication of the one you're talking to, because if you see some confusion or whatever, you know that you have to talk a little bit more slow and your pronunciation should be good, because that happens a lot. And there is a wonderful video on YouTube by, let's see, I noted it down, Julian Treasure. And he has a video, Speak So People Want to Listen. And he gives examples in his own use of the voice you have, with going up, going down. And it really, it helps a lot if you watch that video and try practice with those things, because you can make people listen to you based on those tips. And then your message, your communication is so much more strong in presenting your research, or if you need something from someone else, for example, your promoter or supervisor, or you are going for a network conversation with someone based on the career step you want to make. So that would be a wonderful thing to watch. I think you can learn a lot from that.
Yes. And
Yeah.
yes, Sahid, do you want
Yeah,
to?
I think I fully agree with this mention that we need to, English is our second or even third language, so we need to emphasize that articulation of, maybe for instance for students, articulation of specific scientific names maybe can help, and also even smiling would be very great to create a very friendly atmosphere and communicate with the people that they will listen to you. So first of all, you need to communicate as mentioned here, and then articulate some phrases, and also communicate well with researchers, even not only in your presentation, but also at the coffee corner. So you need to continuously, I think, to communicate. So you don't need to just obligate at the conference or at the or something here, for instance, presentation, but also post kind of communication to kind of continuous learning, continuous communication to be successful. Yeah, I just want to say something like this. Yeah, cool.
And now that we are talking about, about communication challenges, so what is your experience, or what you have seen that are the common struggles you see in early career researchers? Because as in my personal experience, when I went out of Mexico to do my PhD, that was one of the main concerns I had. The English, well, in my case, I traveled to a country that was not to France, so I was studying English, and then it was French. So at the end, well, I communicated in English, and I noticed that many students, in the case of my colleagues here in Mexico, they were like afraid of talking because of what other things, because they were afraid of making mistakes. And then when I was in the university, I noticed, or when I was in the other country, I said, but this is not a problem for the rest of people. So I don't need to have this problem as well. Be free. And I just started talking. In that way, I lost that fear.
Yeah. It's what Raquel already said in the beginning. You have to practice a lot to overcome your shyness in it. And it's not wrong to make mistakes. And I'm now learning Spanish, and I also feel insecure about that. But I tell everyone I speak Spanish too. I'm practicing. I want to learn. So forgive me if I make a lot of mistakes, but I want to learn. And they find that okay, and they like it even. So I think that the practicing and don't think too much, but do. I think that helps a lot. And in the Netherlands, what we often advise is, if you are with a group of students, or you have some students in your group, maybe save some time to be together, to practice together, because you're all in the same boat, more or less. And then it feels more safe and comfortable. So you have a kind of informal conversation group where you practice with each other. And you can every week, or whenever you do it, you can choose a topic, a book, or the weather, or a museum, or whatever it is. And if you are in a foreign country, then you can also learn something about the culture of the country that you're in. So that could also be helpful to do it together, the practicing.
Yeah.
In my case, my sister tell me always, Carla, you need a song, you need a practice to pronunciation with the movies. No? Always tell me that.
It's a nice tip.
Yeah. Watch movies or read children's books. You start children's books, and then you go up and up.
It's a good idea. It's a good idea.
A good
Yeah.
idea. Let's go.
Yeah.
And what about you, Raquel? What are your experience with your students? What do you see?
With the students in English, it's more confidence. It's to give them confidence to start talking. It's going outgoing groups, going outing with them, and preparing meals to make them more comfortable with each other and start talking. I think that it's important to take out of the stress of the lab or the research and talk about personal things, and it would be easier for them to take out the pressure of the academic and put out more the personal part. I think that is the most important thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm sorry. And in the case, not only in English, but in the case for science communication. I mean, because, well, talking in a foreign language is thing, but also talking science in our language is another thing, especially for PhD students or for master degree students who are just starting, maybe, well, it's not easy for everyone. Some of them are more can talk and discuss.
Can I
Yeah.
add something? Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, because in the Netherlands, when as a student or a PhD, you are focusing on staying longer in the country, then we also advise to try to get at least the basic knowledge of the country you're in this case, Dutch, because what we see happening in the job market is also that it becomes more and more important that you speak the language of the country. I can only speak for the Netherlands now because I don't know how it is in France or Germany or another country. But in the Netherlands, we see the last, I think, 1.5 year that employers are more focused on that you can speak the language of the country, although you are in an international environment. But it's often a reason for rejection if you are applying for jobs. So I think if you want to stay in the country for the further future, then try at least to have a basic knowledge of the language itself, not only English. And that puts extra pressure on people. I also understand that. Yeah.
What we do is we organize seminars with the students where they know it's a space for practice. We only know, we are only check the content, but what Marion says, the body language, and we corrected how they stand and they may repeat and how they move and how they translate, and they give confidence and sense of, and the sense of community because of the students are corrected each other, and we ask, what do you see that he does wrong? And he corrected, I think that he should stand up that way, and he stopped moving, and they make self-awareness of what they also are doing, and they helps a lot. I think that making them present in conference is key too. It helps them organize the research, realize that have something available to share and that people can be interested, because sometimes when you are in the lab so immersed, you forget that the importance of your research, and that can be interesting and it gives more energy. It's the other, and I think that what Carla does, it helps a lot to make the students go to the outreach activities, academic outreach activities. I usually ask them to come with me to talk with farmers or school children, and not go to technical details, to explain the problems that we are cooking in. And this interaction with no scientific audiences reminds them that the research matters. And they gives more motivation to continue in their team, because sometimes you lost that, the importance of what you are doing when you are so stressed out, and you have to be reminded that it's important what you do, and you can communicate, and people would be interested what you are doing. That's my contribution.
Cool.
And for example, I think that, well, when we are talking in a scientific community, maybe it's a little bit different when we are talking in a non-scientific community. So I don't know, for example, you, Carla, what have you seen with your students that are interacting with Maya communities or interacting with others?
My student is exciting when I have a contact with the communities. Yesterday I go to the community. They work with other students, the middle medium. I will talk about for TICS. I teach taxonomy. I teach the scientific number of the TICS. Then when I go to the others meeting in English with another person, and they enjoy it. Before they go to this meeting, they just practice a lot with other person. Maybe sometime I use a artificial communication. I don't know.
Mhm.
In reality, in the communities and the other meetings, the professional meeting, enjoy it and practice a lot for development for the one team.
Okay. Said, do you have
Yeah,
comment?
I just learned that if you need to progress, so you need to expose yourself in the situation to be able to communicate, to be able to progress. So we need to expose themselves. Otherwise, if we be shy, we cannot learn, we cannot communicate, but that will be a continuous subsequently difficulties. But if you try yourself, being yourself, and just communicate as much as possible, well, with your language and articulate what you want to say, and also create, how can I say, friendly atmosphere, and how can I say, well, to communicate with your colleagues, or with your teacher or with your coach. So this is very important to present yourself with your simple words. You know, we don't need to be very expert to say difficult language or difficult sentences, but try to express yourself and expose yourself in new situations to learn more. So I here I can learn a lot. Yeah, I'm learning now here even. So it is very important. This is the first step to progress. Yeah. So we have several questions, Kenzie. So yeah,
Yeah.
let's move to the next question. Maybe if it's
Yes. So, well, now that we are talking about, because when Marion Niesenbeck we were talking, I heard something that it called my attention, that you work with people that works in high pressure environments. So how, or which are the recommendations you make for them? Because I mean, students, when you are a student and you need to present your work in front of your PhD advisors or your master's degree advisors, and there are other committees that are coming to see your presentation, your slides, you are, most of the time, you are like, oh, super nervous. Well, extremely nervous sometimes when you are, don't know, exposed to in wider audiences, like for example scientific conferences, when you are in workshops or it's your turn, that this high pressure goes or comes to you. So what are the recommendations you usually give to them, or would you talk a little bit about this?
Yeah, so you're asking if people are very anxious or nervous before they have to give a professional presentation, what would be the tips or ideas to bring down the anxiety or nervousness? That's the question. Yeah, of course, I coach many PhDs with this specific topic because it makes them very nervous and anxious, and it also leads to a kind of general feeling of uncertainty. But yeah, what we always give as tips, also my colleagues, is that preparation is very important. Know what you are going to tell them, and also know why you are going to tell them that. And so more or less your purpose with the talk. And we have a quote, not preparing is preparing to fail. Failing to prepare is preparing to fail. So if you prepare well, that gives already a more a confident feeling, a more comfortable feeling also. And also try not to have, and this is a very difficult thing because we all have them, limiting thoughts, because you create your own nervousness by having thoughts that are not helping you. Maybe I block, or maybe the audience is not interested in my talk, or maybe I get very difficult questions. That all goes on in your head, and that makes you very nervous. So if you are aware of those thoughts, try to shift your mindset more or less to helping thoughts. If I don't know the answer to a question, I will say, okay, I'm going to look that up. I have no idea now. Or people are not there to make my life difficult in those minutes that I'm presenting. They are there because they are interested in me. So always, and that is a tool that is very well known, is that you shift from not helping or limiting thoughts to helping thoughts before you have to give the presentation. And that brings down the nervousness a bit. And also be aware of that you should be a little bit nervous, because the nervousness helps you to perform well. Because if you don't care, then they will feel that. And we talked about nonverbal communication. And if you are there and think, well, it's not that important, or what I'm telling is not that interesting, etc., then you can't engage with the public. So it's very important to have a little bit of nervousness. I was also a little bit nervous before this round table, and everyone around me say, yeah, why should you? Because you know what you're going to talk about, it's your profession, etc. But I need that to be alert, to perform well. So that is acceptance, more or less. And maybe also a helping thought that I give to PhDs often is, be thankful that you have the opportunity to share your thoughts, your knowledge. And thankfulness is also important. And those are all positive thoughts and mindsets that help you, to bring down the anxiety or nervousness a bit, from my career coach point of view.
Thank you.
So I think that it's practice. Practice a lot, you work more self-confidence. What I usually do is use your slides, put a keyword in there. Usually I have problems starting the talk. So I put the word that I cannot pronounce to start talking. And now that you start talking, you continue. Well, so I use the slide to put the keywords that make me start the sentence, and then is the tip that they give them. Use the slide to give you the key points to start you the ideas that you have, no? Because usually it's difficult to start. Once you start, you never stop. Well, for me.
Yeah.
Difficult.
Yeah.
Stop, Raquel, stop.
Yeah. Also the practicing, just like in the languages. What we already mentioned, it's so important to do it a lot. That creates experience, and experience helps to feel confident.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. So little bit stress is necessary. Yeah. So because in physiology we have also eustress and distress. Eustress is positive and distress is negative. So this means that this can also be here as well. True. Yeah, cool. I'm learning a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And yesterday I said to a PhD from the hospital, I said, maybe it helps you, because it's very personal, if you mention it before you start with your presentation, that you are a little bit nervous. And if you say it like, I'm a bit nervous because this is important for me, then it lifts off your shoulder the pressure, more or less. That helps often to say it, because everyone will recognize it. So then you help yourself more or less before you start with your presentation. But some people don't like to do that because they think it's a weakness. But yeah, for some people it helps. So you have to know yourself well, to know what works for you and what doesn't work for you.
Yes.
And probably the audience will be more kind to you if you say that you are a little nervous.
Yeah. Yeah, everyone will recognize it because we all have that. A few people maybe don't have it, but most people will always feel a little bit stressed.
Yes, it's like, well, we are at the end, we are all human, so
Yeah.
it's a physical, psychological, it's normal to be.
We're no robots.
Exactly.
Yes.
Okay, so now, what do you, well, we prepare another question. And well, talking about the scientific part, and well, don't know, how do you personally deal, or what will be the recommendation for dealing, or for students dealing with rejection of papers, rejection of grants? What would you advise? What are, in your experience, how do you help students to deal with this part, which is very important?
Well, rejection always stinks. That's no way around it. It's hard. When I receive a rejection, I allow myself to take a day to process it. I don't see it. I forget about it. I don't try to respond immediately. I take a breath, let it sink in, and stay back, waited for a moment. Yeah, the next day I revised the comments more objectively. And I asked myself, can I improve the work based on this feedback? Can I revise and resume it? Is your options? Should I send it somewhere else? And you have to start a plan, what to do next, not to be in the failure. No, it's, well, this is a feedback. Now, what can I do about it? Most of the times, the reviewers' comments, once that you pass the emotional fade and you are more confident, actually helps strengthen this work. After revision and you make a counter comment, usually the proposal always improves. So it's a good thing about that. It's rejected, but you improve your work now. In my advice to early careers is don't let rejection defines you. Take a deep breath, read the feedback, and get to work.
Yeah.
Talk to someone you trust, share the experience, share with companions. It helps a lot to talk and keep moving. Science is built in persistence. It's not perfection. You start once and once. That's my contribution.
Rejection is never easy, no? But also it's not personal.
Right.
And I let myself feel disappointment, take a short break. No? I take a short break as revisit the feedback always with more objective. Usually, I think with a slow reward, resubmit, and keep moving forward. In my case, I take a 2, 3, 10, 20, 30, 15 minutes break and continue.
Thank you.
Yeah. I think it's in general part of the learning process. Every rejection or feedback you get will help you to grow and to thrive in your profession. So if you have how do I say that? If you are prepared to get rejections because it's not personal, it's part of the total process, then you manage your own expectations, and that helps in your resilience and in your confidence. So to manage the expectations, if you know that they can be there, that helps already a little bit. And then you also are, of course, it's good to be unhappy about it, because you also have to give the emotion a place somewhere, and talk with people. Indeed, that helps too. And then you have to pick yourself up again and continue, because you can't let it get to you too much. And if you have, for example, rejection upon rejection, and you feel that you are going downhill a little bit, then I would advise people to speak up about it and to seek help. And it could be someone in your environment, your promoter or supervisor, but asking for help is a strength. It's not a weakness. It's really a strength. And other people are always inclined to help you. Could be professional help, but it could also be people in your environment. So if the rejections really get to you, because you can have all the interventions and tools you like, but if it still gets to you a little bit too much, seek the support. Look at what kind of resources you have, because in coaching, we work with the GDR model. That's a science-based model, the job demands and resources model. You can Google it, because there's a lot known about it. And the demands are often well known. Rejections are part of the demands because it puts pressure on you. But people are often, students, PhDs, researchers, are often not aware of all the resources that they have. And resources can be around you, and it could be your promoter, supervisor, it could be your colleagues, it could be at the university HR or a coach, or you can get some trainings. But you also have resources in your personality, resilience, perseverance, as talents, more or less. And you have resources at home often. Sometimes it could also be a demand at home, but it could also be a resource. So being aware of your resources helps you immensely in handling the rejections and the more negative parts of a job.
Yes, and Mario, you touched an important part of this for students. And this like, what do you do when you, and for researchers as well, what do you do when you detect that a student is suffering problems linked to academic charge? I mean, how, because sometimes there are committees that are dedicated to help this part, don't know, when students not only to academic charge, but other psychological things linked maybe to the work they are doing, or maybe, don't know, whatever.
It really starts, but that is from the coach perspective. It starts with knowing yourself well and know what I already mentioned, what your resources are. And what we always try to explain is, if you are not happy about things, it could be in yourself or in the environment, then try to be specific about the things that cost you motivation, energy, joy, etc. And the more specific you make it, the better you can try to find solutions for it. If someone says, I can't handle my PhD well, then I say, okay, I hear what you're saying, but what exactly is the demand that you are experiencing? And we call it in the flow research, we call it the unflow. Unflow is not an official word, but if you have flow moments, then you are completely engrossed and positive. But if you have unflow, then that costs a lot of energy and joy and motivation, etc. So make the unflow as specific as possible, because then you can try to find per unflow tools or insights for it and lead yourself more or less in a positive way. it sounds simple. It's not as simple as it sounds. As sometimes you need help for that, but it starts with the awareness of what exactly is it that you are experiencing in a negative way, because the more specific it is, the better you can try to attack it or do something about it and seek the right support for it. And that is the GDR model that I already mentioned, that job demands and resources model, helps you to make that more clear for yourself and to lead yourself hopefully away from the negative forces. Yeah.
Mario, and I went to the student for you. In my case, always I listen to my student. I recommend you visit a fabulous place in Yucatan. Have many cenotes, beach, and the other place beautiful. I recommend you contact for Naturaleza. In one times, and the other times, really, I need professional mental health support. In this case, I can help.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, it's sometimes if you experience unflow, it depends a little bit what the reason is, but going to other places or try to study or write, writing is also sometimes a very tough process. Sorry. Then try to find a more inspirational environment. That already helps. We call that a work hack. You put in a kind of work hack to make life easier for yourself. Or if you know what your biorhythm is, that you work best in the morning, try to use that time to do the toughest job. They call that eat that frog. Do the toughest things first when your body is most energetic, more or less. And if you are tiring at the end of the day, don't do the toughest things. And so all those things that you are aware of, how it should work for you, makes you more or less take the lead in the process. It helps you. And sometimes it's so overbearing, because this is theory, so overbearing that you can't do it alone, then indeed seek help. It could be in mental health, but also with, I don't see it anymore. It's such a big thing, and I can't oversee it anymore. Then talk with someone, because that person can help you to pick things out that you can work on in an easy way, and then get to the tougher things later on. Because in small steps, you can help yourself.
Yes. And I'm sorry, Said, do you want?
Yeah, I think Raquel mentioned something. Raquel?
Yeah.
Well, I was saying that in experience, emotional support is just as important as the academic guidance. Many students are under really pressure, far from home, and unsure how to handle situations that have nothing to do with experiments or data, but everything to do with staying afloat. For example, I once have a PhD student whose tutorial presentation was a disaster. After pandemic, he was depressed and he was really overwhelmed. I asked him to come to my office, and when he walked in, I saw how stressed he was. I stand up, I give a hug, and ask him, how are you doing? Not the project, we talk about him, his problems. That he gave him something to reset, to start again. He gave energy, re-engaging the work, and finishing the work, his PhD very good. So I learned a lot of it. Sometimes it's good to step back, talk with them about something else and nothing to do.
Yeah.
And usually I try to do the exercise to the big things, trying to put in small steps, how to go from step, the big project, a plan, no? Small steps, how to you reach to your goal. No? It helps a lot to do that. But the emotional part for me, I have seen is key for the students. Sometimes it's more a little to be seen that you have to show them. I am seeing you as a person, not just a researcher in my lab, a student. You are important. No?
Yeah, you're not.
One example today, I have a student, a pregnant student. This is the moment for the woman is very difficult. It's very difficult very difficult studying for one person, a child. He only stay behind she and push only time. It's very difficult. It's complicated when one person work with for one hand a student and for other one to family, a new family in this case, not one and baby.
Yeah. So now it seems like we are in the almost at the end of this round table, but we wouldn't like to finish. we would like to see if in the chat there are some questions for you, because now
Okay, Kenzie.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you very much. Well, I think, yeah, just flew. Huh? So we have so many questions still, but the time is, or limitation. So let me see just the YouTube channel that we have questions and coming through now as well. So there is a question by Kathleen Macri, sorry. She's also our Animal Behavioral Live member. So she's asking that, she's mentioned that, thank you for the interesting discussion. Do you have any advice for dealing with imposter syndrome? And do you, I think I have this question as well. And do you think, women are more likely to suffer from this in science? Yeah, interesting question. Yeah. Suggestions?
thanks.
It's a topic that comes by often in the coach sessions with researchers. I don't know if women are more sensitive to it than men. I guess it could be. And advice about it. It's a very competitive environment, and it sounds a little bit simple, but maybe learn not to compare too much, because you have so many talents, and try to focus on your own research and the talents that you have and the way you do the job and the kind of colleague you are, because it's more than only the content of the job. It's also the environment where you thrive and grow and develop, and try to build some confidence. And I know it's very difficult to do that on your own, because that is the problem often. But then seek a coaching or someone else that helps you to try to focus on your own accomplishments and successes. And we do in the coaching success stories to practice that, because normally you are inclined to focus on the things that aren't going well, because that's also the environment, the rejections we just talked about. But there are also successes, and they don't have to be very big, but try to focus on the small successes that you have in your job, and that helps you to feel a little bit more resilient and strong. I think that is the best advice I can give about this difficult thing called imposter syndrome.
I think that talking about it with friends, it helps a lot. It helps to recognize that everyone feels insecure in some point in their life, especially when you're starting, and to see that I think it's a common problem with everyone in academia. So it's to recognize it, talk with someone, don't keep it to yourself. And you see that it's very common. Everybody's insecure, it's normal. You have to take this, how to get more secure, more confident, and it's by practice. Doing, never stop doing. If you stop doing and you froze, you stay in that place. But if you try going on and doing, you're still advancing. So the thing is, try not to stop. Try to continue always, do something always, and talk to a lot of people. Talking helps a lot. And to learn about other people's insecurities helps you understand yourself and your own insecurities. So I think that's...
Imposter syndrome is very common. It's special for the women and the underrepresented groups. My case, I made two teams. One team is see you my pictures, the past. Then I permit to see what kind of work I do. In the other tips, I even keep my folder with positive feedback. My student, my family, or my boyfriend or my husband, and achievement. When I feel sad, when I feel imposter syndrome, I see you always. No, I remember. In this life, I forgot to your éxitos. You need to remember always yours is very important. You made it think beautiful things.
Yeah. Successes and the positive things. Yeah, what I could add is I'm trying to put it in perspective, because in life in general, in all workplaces, there will always be people who are better than you, are more intelligent or more knowledgeable, etc. But there are so many people who have less to bring. And that is maybe also something that you can tell yourself now and then to put things in perspective. And it helps to talk with a lot of people about it, because sharing is already half the sadness, more or less.
Yeah. And yeah, I was thinking maybe imposter syndrome. Would that to provide a very simple definition of impulsive for our audience? What is the meaning of impulsive syndrome? So maybe
Thinking that you're not good enough is, I think, a simple explanation. Yeah.
And is that also something related to we think or we believe that chance can play a role a lot or something like that, and we are not enough expert, and this is just by chance? Because I think for me, in my case, for instance, sometimes I think that chance is playing a lot of role, and this is not because of our effort or trying or accomplishment, but chance is also play a very important role, or even condition. I'm not sure. So is that okay, or is that something that we can discuss a little bit or elaborate this? What's the role of chance? Do you think it can play a lot of important role for this?
Yeah, some people are more lucky than other people in general, of course. Yeah.
Or more opportunities, no? Where you are wrong, which country you are in the better position than people that came from third world. A little more. But sometimes you are in a post because someone saw you something in you. It's not like you are imposter. Sometimes you have to find it yourself, what they seen in you. And you don't believe it yet, but in a point you will believe in yourself. But yes, it's really syndrome. It's a term that I just found, and it was very interesting. I never thought about it. It's to think that you didn't deserve it, that you are there by luck, chance. But if you are in this career, it's because you have studied a lot of time. You have to make a career, then a PhD. So you are not there by chance. You are there because you have make an effort.
Yeah, and you can't influence everything. it's what we call the circle of influence. There are things you can influence and that you can't influence, and try not to be too focused on the things you can't influence, because it costs a lot of energy and time and effort, but nothing changes then. So try to focus on the things that you can change or influence, and that helps too. You can't change other people.
Yeah.
But you can change how you look at things, the mindset again, and how you experience things. So the personal leadership is maybe a nice part of the development process. Not only the content, but also your personal development. You lead yourself then.
Yeah, and maybe are there any impacts of personality, bold or shy individuals? I mean, maybe that could also play a role. So more studies are needed, huh? more research. Yeah, personality, is that matter, you think, Marion or Raquel, Carla? Personalities matter for this imposter syndrome?
Certainly.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yes, I think that
Yeah.
it's not a shy person probably gets more that problem, and a going person, I think that you
Yeah.
expect that they don't have that problem, but probably they hide it more. But just personality.
Yeah.
Certainly. Some people are more sensitive than other people to what other people think or do, and so it's certainly part of personality. And even nature and that's nature, personality, but also nurture, the values that you get from home in your upbringing, and that you should be modest, for example. If that is how you were brought up, then maybe you don't put yourself forward very easily because you have learned to be modest. It's not personality, but it's upbringing, how you were raised. And that could also make you sensitive to other things in the environment. So there are lots of elements that influence on your performance and how you do your job and how you experience things.
Yeah, fully agree. Yeah.
It's very important for the life and for the scientific work, the resilience. No? You need a lot of resilience for different problems or different reactions that you receive for the project, for the paper, for the other things. No? You needed to consider actually the people lack to resilience for this case.
And also, Kathleen Marcy is suggesting that maybe luck and chance can also be considered a skill, play a role.
Luck and chance, a skill. Yeah, it's not a skill that you can develop.
Yeah. But interesting point of view. Yeah. So yeah.
You are in the right moment, in the right place.
Yeah.
That's
And don't blame it for it.
Yeah.
Yes, but well, the end, I think that for students is very important to think about that. Like you mentioned before, if they are there, is because they work a lot. They work to be in this PhD program. They work to get that, don't know, diploma. They were selected at the end to get a specific grant. It's something, I think that it's something about recognizing ourselves, recognizing our abilities, and yes, that if we are there is more than only luck. It's because there was a personal work behind it, a passion, and something that I think students, as students, we need, or they need to recognize. Okay, well, now we are we are at the end of this roundtable. We have many more questions. I mean, we have a lot of things that we would like to discuss. We would like to ask you because it's for me, it was very interesting that you, Marion, are a coach, that we have Raquel, Carla, that we are researchers. So we have these two parts of the, these 2 points of view about this topic that we were discussing. But well, we need to conclude today. And we would like to thank you, Carla, Mario, and Raquel, for being here, for sharing your knowledge, sharing your experience. It's very appreciated. We appreciate a lot this. And thank to our viewers as well. Well, many maybe because this roundtable will be available. We will have more questions during the don't know during the time this will be displayed or this will be available. Don't know, but people are free to contact us. They have our contact website through the website, our personal accounts that are available in the website as well. So thank you very much, everyone, for being here. Thank you very much, Sahid, Alexis, for support
Thank you.
this streaming. And so we have other events that are planned for next days. So don't forget and just stay tuned. Thank you very
Thank you,
much.
Marion. Thank you, Marion. Thank you, Raquel and
Yeah.
Carla, for joining
Thank you,
us
thank
today.
you.
Yeah.